Hey guys, Alex back again. I've been seeing this contest going around for a while. For Tales of the Crate's 1,000 subscriber contest. Congratulations first, Andrew, for hitting 1,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone. And honestly, I've only been subscribed to your channel since this contest started, so I can honestly say I don't know you that well, but I did check out a couple of your videos, really liked the stuff you showed, so let's get into this. The contest was to show either 5 or 10 records, all of different genres, from what you listened to. For me, it was hard to pick 10, because there are so many different styles of music that I listen to. Some obviously more so than others, but I have managed to narrow it down to 10. I'm going to try and get some needle drops in if I can, but I'm not making any promises with these. So yeah, let's get into these, starting off with indie. Indie rock is the first genre I'm going with, and for this I've picked The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. Really, really stellar album, unbelievable stuff. Of course, Arcade Fire are a Canadian band, I believe from Toronto. I might be wrong on that, I can't exactly remember, but definitely in my top 5 favourite bands at the moment, Arcade Fire. I do love their stuff. They have some incredible work, and yeah, cannot wait to hear what else they have to put out. But fantastic stuff, definitely worth checking out if you ever get the chance to. So yeah, there it is, The Suburbs by Arcade Fire as my first choice. Next up, I'm going with jazz. Sorry, I have a piece of hair in my mouth. Next up, I'm going with jazz. Now, jazz is a genre I like, but I hardly listen to, and I don't really know that much about it. I wish I knew more about it. I probably know more about jazz than I do blues anyway. But, yeah, for my jazz pick, I've gone with Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis. Probably my favourite Miles Davis album. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy that obviously Kind of Blue is the best jazz album of all time, but I love this album from Miles. I think it's overlooked, especially as it's the follow-up to Kind of Blue. Definitely not as good as Kind of Blue, but I love this album. Just incredible stuff, and it is really, really incredible, of course, from 1960, so just an incredible piece of work from Miles, and an overlooked piece in my opinion, because I hardly see anyone talking about this album, unfortunately. So one I felt I had to show for my jazz pick. Next up is, of course, hip-hop. I had to go with hip-hop here, honestly. Hip-hop is probably my favourite genre, at least the one I listen to the most. And, you know, it was hard to pick just one hip-hop album, but I think I had to go, I've just picked the one that I've been listening to the most recently, and that is Naughty by Nature's 1991 album, Naughty by Nature. Their second studio album, but their first album is Naughty by Nature. Unbelievable album. Now, I was watching this album kind of reminds me of an interview with that Ice-T did with Eminem, where Eminem said he listened to the tape of this and he didn't write any raps for the whole summer because I think he quit or something after hearing this, because Tretch has just some incredible rhymes on this. Uses of, I mean, Thanks for Sleepwalking contains, just the samples used on this album are just incredible. Of course, OPP uses a sample of the Jackson 5. There's a song on here that uses, I think it's the last track on here, Thanks for Sleepwalking, that uses a Beatles sample. It's just in my opinion, the perfect hip hop album. It's simple, it works really well, and there's not a bad track on it. So of course I'm going to give this a shout for my hip hop choice. Next up I'm going with soul, and it's not an obvious soul choice. Soul is probably my second most listened to genre, just because I listen to a lot of soul through hip hop, as a lot of hip hop samples soul music, obviously. But that's how I kind of discovered soul, but obviously I listen to a lot more than just the samples used in hip hop. Obviously uses a lot more samples than just soul. But one thing I wanted to show is this album, Michael Kiwanuka, Home Again. I know I probably said his name incorrectly, but this is a phenomenal album. Going from homeless to being successful is a phenomenal story. And I love his voice. He has such an incredible stuff. And this is 2012. This is modern, like really modern, and it's just a phenomenal album. I love it. He's definitely needs more attention, I feel, and just has some incredible work out there. So had to show that for my soul pick. Next up, I'm going with soft rock. I don't listen to too much soft rock, I'll admit, but one band that I do love in the soft rock genre is Bread. This is The Sound of Red, which obviously contains everything they ever did, from Make It With You to Baby I'ma Want You, Everything I Own, Lost Without Your Love is on this album, Guitar Man's on this album. It's just a phenomenal album from front to back. If you're a casual Bread fan, you need to own the Best of Bread in some form, or The Sound of Bread, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just get a Best of Bread album in your collection if you like Bread in any way. But yeah, definitely a great album to have, and that's my pick for soft rock. Now, what could follow soft rock? Hard rock. And my hard rock pick is Agents of Fortune by Blue Oyster Cult. Of course, this has the classic song Don't Fear the Reaper on it, which has been covered by so many artists. And I actually discovered them through my favourite TV show, Supernatural, because this symbol here features in an episode of Supernatural, so that's what actually made me check out Blue Oyster Cult, and I love them, and I want more of their stuff, but they never come up, unfortunately. So, but there it is, Blue Oyster Cult, my entry for hard rock. Next up, I'm going with world music. More specifically, Afrobeat. And I had to pick my favorite Afrobeat record here. It's Zombie by Fela Kuti and the Africa 70. This is, if you were to define Afrobeat in one album, it's this. Yes, there's only 2 songs on it, and each song uses up a whole side, but it is a phenomenal album. It is just perfect, and I love it. This is a reissue. Originals go for crazy money, but of course you're gonna pick up a reissue when they're cheap. So, but there it is, Fela Kuti and the Africa 70 with Zombie for my pick for world music. Funk is next, and for funk I went with Average White Band. Great stuff. Scottish band. This guy here, Hamish, actually owns a pub fairly local to me, so I haven't seen him in there. I don't think I've ever been in there, to be honest with you. But nice to own any Average White Band, a staple if you like funk music, of course. Had to show this, just some phenomenal stuff. Pick Up the Pieces is on here, Person to Person, Got the Love, Keeping It to Myself. All fantastic songs on this album, so that's my entry for the funk genre. Next up is reggae, probably my third most listened to genre, if I'm honest. And this is the album This Morning by Clinton Fearon, who was a member of the Gladiators. Really, really good album, just phenomenal stuff from front to back, and I do really love this album. There's not a bad track on here, there's not a lot of reggae stuff that I don't like. But I love this because it flows very nicely. It's very bassline driven. I love bassline driven reggae. So yeah, this album is of course perfect for me. So gotta love it. It's a double album, so there's a lot to get through, but it's a really, really nice pressing. And of course, it's an expensive album as well. Let's not forget about that. But this is an American import, so I'm happy about that. But yeah. Clinton Fearon, This Morning, one of my top reggae albums, without a doubt. And finally, I'm going with synth pop, and I had to pick what probably is my favorite synth pop album, and my favorite album by this band, obviously, Violator by Depeche Mode. Not a huge Depeche Mode fan. I haven't checked out too much of their stuff outside of this album. But this is, of course, incredible. You've got Personal Jesus on here, Enjoy the Silence, Policy of Truth, The World in My Eyes, just phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. Of course, and again, a reissue. Originals don't come up too often. I've only ever seen one original of this, but I had the reissue by that point, so I didn't think there was any point grabbing it. But yeah, just a phenomenal, phenomenal album, and my entry for synth pop. that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. And yeah, I will congratulations again, Andrew, for getting to 1,000 subscribers. Huge milestone. Don't know why I wasn't subscribed to your channel yet. I'm pretty sure I've come across your channel multiple times while I've been a VC member. I don't know why I wasn't subscribed, but now I am. So yeah, congrats on 1,000 subscribers, and here is to hopefully 1,000 more. Thank you guys once again for tuning back into the channel, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.